All right, let's dive right in. Welcome, everybody, to our Consistency Psychology 101 review session. Look, if you're gearing up for the ultimate test of daily life, or honestly, if you just want to figure out why your brain does what it does, you've landed in the exact right spot. Let's kick things off with a scenario I am willing to bet every single one of us knows way too well. Picture this. You wake up on a Monday morning. You feel it, right? That spark, that sheer energy. You tell yourself, today's the day. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat clean. I'm finally going to knock out that massive project. And guess what? You do it. You absolutely crush Monday. But then, Thursday rolls around. Your alarm goes off, and instead of that fire, you feel literally nothing. You hit snooze, you skip the gym, you order takeout, and boom. By the end of the week, you're back to square one, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you just can't seem to stay consistent. Well, in today's Explainer, we're going to dissect the actual psychology behind that exact cycle. And more importantly, we're going to figure out how to finally break it.
Real quick, here's the syllabus for today's review. We're covering 3 core modules. Number 1, the motivation trap. 2, the science of discipline. And 3, applied psychology. Let's get to it. Module 1, the motivation trap. Or, as I like to call it, exactly why our feelings fail us. Before we tackle the question up here, let's set some ground rules for today's session. We are sticking strictly to the science. No toxic positivity here. We really have to confront this massive myth right out of the gate. You know the one, hustle culture. Those slick Instagram reels, folks screaming at you through your phone screen. They all sell us this super shiny idea that if we just feel motivated enough, success is guaranteed. So what happens? We spend our whole lives chasing that feeling. We watch another video. We buy a fancy new planner. We swear, okay, I'm starting fresh on Monday. And hey, it works, for about 72 hours. Then the feeling just vanishes, and we are left completely empty-handed. To understand the actual mechanics of this, let's look at a classic question. Why do New Year's resolutions reliably fall apart by February? Think about it. Millions of people start with the exact same sky-high motivation on January 1st. So what exactly happens 4 weeks later to wipe all of that out? To get to the bottom of this, we need to look at the incredible work of psychologist Dr. Piers Steele. He spent over a decade deeply studying procrastination and human follow-through.
So Dr. Steele's research led to a totally fundamental concept for our review today. It's called expected rewards theory. And this perfectly pinpoints the flaw in how we think. The theory states that motivation collapses when the reward feels distant or uncertain. See, at its core, motivation is totally reactive. It's just responding to how you feel right this second and the immediate payoff you think you're going to get. So when you're sweating your absolute life away on a treadmill in January, but the reward of actually being fit feels like months away, your motivation just packs up its bags and leaves. It completely fails us because it's relying on these super unpredictable feelings paired with payoffs that are way too far in the future.
Think of it like this. Motivation is the weather. It's totally uncontrollable, super temporary, and it shifts without any warning whatsoever. One day it's perfectly sunny, the next day a massive storm rolls in. You literally cannot control when motivation decides to show up. Discipline, though? Discipline is your raincoat. It's reliable, it's proactive, and it does its job perfectly whether it's beautiful outside or absolutely pouring. Listen, you cannot control the weather, but you can always choose to throw on that raincoat. Moving right along to Module 2, the science of discipline, where we'll focus on cognitive mechanics.
We're shifting gears now. We know feelings fail us, so what's actually keeping successful people moving forward long after that Monday morning fire burns out? Like, what is the actual machinery operating inside their brains? Well, the key here is a crucial cognitive concept, so definitely get this down in your notes. Decision fatigue. This is the depletion of mental energy caused by just making way too many choices. Here's the psychological reality. Every single decision you make, from the exact second you wake up, what you're going to wear, what to eat, which route to take to work, it all drains your mental battery. The more choices your brain has to make, the worse it gets at making them as the day drags on. Real discipline isn't actually about gritting your teeth and fighting through tough decisions. It's about removing the decision entirely. This is exactly why tech billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg wear the exact same outfit every single day. By totally eliminating that one morning choice, he's saving his mental energy for the stuff that actually matters. Fewer decisions literally equals more execution.
Okay, we've all heard the classic myth that it takes exactly 21 days to form a new habit, right? Well, research by Philippa Lally at University College London totally debunks that idea. Her rigorous studies actually found that it takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become truly automatic. Just look at the progression. Day 1, pure excitement. But day 21, that is where the struggle peaks.
The novelty is completely gone, and that is usually right where motivation is screaming at you to quit. But here's the secret. Real ironclad discipline is forged right there in the gap between day 21 and day 66. It's the sheer act of keeping going when you absolutely aren't feeling it, right up until your brain literally stops negotiating with you and just starts doing.
All right, let's bring it all together with Module 3, Applied Psychology. We're going to look at 3 specific habit strategies you are absolutely going to need to pass the ultimate test of daily life.
So here is your roadmap. These are 3 psychology-backed strategies designed to transform an exhausting willpower-draining grind into an automatic, sustainable system. Step 1, implementation intentions. Step 2, tiny habits. And Step 3, detaching action from emotion. Let's break these down one by one. Strategy number 1 is implementation intentions. The psychology here, pioneered by researcher Peter Gollwitzer, shows that you can't just rely on vague desires. You can't just say to yourself, oh, I'll work out more, or I'm going to study harder. Your brain honestly doesn't know what to do with that. Instead, you need an implementation intention. Something like, I will work out at 7 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's a precise formula. And by making this one incredibly simple switch toward extreme specificity, research shows you can increase your follow-through by up to 300%. 300%! Why does this work so well? Because your brain absolutely loves specificity. It takes the exhausting when and where completely out of the decision-making process, which, as we learned earlier, completely bypasses decision fatigue. Moving on to strategy number 2, tiny habits. This is a brilliant concept from Stanford behavior scientist B.J. Fogg. The method here is honestly almost insultingly simple. You make the action so ridiculously small that you literally cannot say no to it. So you want to read more books? Don't commit to a whole chapter a day. Commit to reading exactly 1 single page. Trying to get fit? Commit to just 2 push-ups right before your morning shower. The massive takeaway for your exam here is that the goal of a tiny habit isn't the immediate physical result. The real goal is the identity shift. By doing the thing daily, no matter how tiny it is, you become someone who shows up every single day. You are actively building the identity of consistency.
And that brings us to our third and final strategy. Honestly, guys, if you only remember one single thing from today's review session, make it this. You have to detach action from emotion. You've got to stop asking yourself, do I feel like doing this right now? And start asking, is this on my schedule? Think back to our earlier modules. Motivation is just the key turning the ignition. It merely starts the engine. But discipline? Discipline is what keeps you driving down the highway when the gas tank is running low. You don't need to feel good or excited or super inspired to do the work. You just need to execute the schedule.
This right here is your ultimate study guide takeaway for how the most successful, consistent people on Earth actually structure their daily actions. Just read this with me. Feelings are guests. Your system is the house. Guests come and go. The house stays. Your motivation, your excitement, even your dread and your exhaustion, those are just guests. They're going to walk through the front door and eventually they are going to leave. But the discipline, the tiny habits, those implementation intentions, that is the house. And the house stays standing no matter who happens to be visiting.
So, as we wrap up this Consistency Psychology 101 review session, I want to leave you with one final, provocative exam question to ask yourself. Will you wait for the fire or will you build the system? The very next time your alarm goes off and you just do not feel motivated, I want you to reframe that moment in your head. Recognize that it is not a failure of your character, it's the exact moment where your discipline finally earns its keep. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect weather. Build your system, follow your schedule, and do the small thing every single day. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, everybody. Now get out there, study your systems, and go ace the test.